All right, let's do this. Hello and welcome to the CubeCast podcast, the most consistently infrequent cubing podcast. It's January 2nd, 2015. I am Wafo, and joining me in hosting this wonderful show is my partner in crime, Ranja. How you doing? Oh wait, we also have Mitch. Hi, Mitch.
Hi.
And hi, Ranza.
Hi.
So if you want to know what the CubeCast is, it's a show about cubing, podcast actually. Sometimes we're going to have guests on, sometimes we won't. Maybe it'll just be a catch-up episode or something like that. The CubeCast started in 2010, July of 2010, with Andrew Kang and Tom Barlow. Then later on, when the CubeCast started to die off a little bit, Chris Wall and Austin Reed picked it back up and started season 2 with it. Then Andrew Kang and Tom Barlow also picked it back again with season 3. Since that died off again, we decided to pick it up.
Yeah,
and
a year of no episodes.
Yeah, it's been a while, so we just figured to do it.
We do have Andrew's permission to do this. We did ask him nice and kindly. And you know why we did this? It's because we really just miss CubeCast.
Yeah.
You know? And we just went up, approached Andrew. He was like, alright, okay, why not? And so now we're hosting the show.
Yeah, it kind of got really real really fast, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out. Obviously, we're hoping it's going to turn out for the best, and that the loyal fans from the original series are going to like us.
And also, we really want the newer cubers to actually get interested into the podcast, because I know a lot of them don't really know what it is at all.
Yeah, this said, we have 3 hosts, and you guys really might not know who we are, so let's all take a moment to say who we are, our cubing background, how we got started, and how we ended up here today. So, Waffle, you want to start?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm Jules. Most people call me Wafo. Most people know me as Wafo. I've been cubing since 2006, but I started competing around 2008. And the only reason I am sort of well known is because I was one of the first people who started using Rue and kind of taught people how to use Rue and stuff like that. So, hopefully I'll be a great host on the show. Yeah?
Yeah, didn't you start with Heist?
I did start with Heist, actually. Heist was interesting because I got down to around 25 seconds with Heist, which was pretty damn impressive, if I would say so myself. But then I switched over to Petrus, then dabbled around with CFOB, and then finally stuck with Rue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How so many things. Oh my goodness. I started cubing in late 2009, but I never actually went to an official competition until halfway through 2010. I guess I'm most known for just being an all-arounder. I do all of the events except for Skewb. Oh, not Skewb. I do Skewb, but I don't do the blind events because they just don't really interest me too much. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm pretty much a boring cuber besides the fact that I do all the events.
Yeah, you also never hold a national record. Ever.
Yeah, you don't have to rub it in.
Yeah, and yet you've seemed to climb the list of the sum of ranks pretty nicely. So I guess that's cool, kinda. Speaking of national records, hi, I'm Ranja, or Brandon Harnish, or whoever you want to.
Segue, man.
Whatever you want to say. Yeah, these segues are going to be baller the entire time. So yeah, I started cubing in late 2008, got to competing in 2009, late 2009, and have now behind me a Skewb world record. Cool, actually 2. And then those are gone now. I also do competitions in the Bay Area with Mitch, in the San Francisco Bay Area with Mitch, and we're gearing up for our 5th one. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, the 5th one is going to be a 2-day competition, just putting that in there.
Yeah, we're calling it everything but 2x2, so hopefully we won't have Rami Sabahi there. Joking. Kinda. Anyways. So, yeah, what I'm mostly known for is Skewb, obviously. I have also dabbled in horrible methods for blindfold solving, and horrible algorithms for 3x3, and just horrible cubing in general.
Yeah, Mr.
When he means horrible, he doesn't mean just mediocrely horrible. He means like really horrible.
He uses like the S2G perm or something like that.
Who uses that? Like, who wants to
it.
like hurt themselves? Like, seriously.
Like,
Yo,
S2 is the hardest thing to finger trick to me.
Well, it's
for me at least. What do you use? Like your thumbs?
No, I double flick it like so the move right before it is an R2, and I do it like an R2 prime. Then the S2 is like a double flick as you would like do a U2, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just R2 prime, S2.
Whatever, man. That's
Then
weird.
Yeah, it works out though.
Right,
I can sub to the algorithm, so it works out. So I guess it works. So we have 3 hosts. What really made it difficult sometimes for CubeCast earlier to actually be consistent was that they weren't able to schedule everybody together. They weren't able to get everybody together to have a particular time in order to get all this stuff done, whether it be with a guest or just having the hosts there. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have 3 hosts essentially on call, where we're going to be able to record regardless of whether or not we have a guest, as Mitch mentioned earlier, or if we don't have all 3 hosts, we're still going to have a good show that we're able to put on. Maybe we'll have some recurring guests. We'll see what happens in due time. But the best case scenario will be all 3 of us will be available every episode. And yeah, there's less time difference also between us since we're all currently in America. Makes it a lot easier than having a 5-hour difference between just the hosts.
And 2 of us are on the same time zone, so that helps a lot.
Yeah,
and
we're
one of them doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also helps.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, we realize this is the first episode in about a year. It's since November 2013. And as the original CubeCast did, we're going to kind of continue the tradition and go over all of the world records that have been broken. Just the world records, not the continental ones, because...
This would be it would be obnoxiously long.
It's already obnoxiously long.
Okay,
yeah.
To give you an idea of how obnoxiously long it is, we've had over 80 world records since the last episode.
Jesus.
Yeah, 80. And guess who counted them all? Mitch. Thank you. Thank you for Mitch.
Yeah, thanks for taking with the team, man.
Yeah, taking a bullet there for us. Good job.
There's so many world records, and it's literally insane. Like, to see how much cubing has progressed in, like, a year and a half, it's just, like, outrageous.
Yeah, but luckily, 3x3 hasn't really done anything. So,
yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah, 3x3, the 5.55 single by Mats still is up there. And for 3x3 average, we have only seen Felix break his average at 6.54 seconds.
Dang.
Yeah.
Then 4x4, we have Sebastian Weyer with 24.67, only to be beaten by Faz with a 24.66. Dang, that's really close. And then Sebastian got 24.33, and then completely jumped 2 whole seconds there and got a 20.97. Like, who does that? That's insane.
That's impressive. That's so impressive, man.
Yeah, 21s for, like, actual top-ranked 4x4 solvers are, like, really hard to get, so it's really impressive to see him to actually get a 21 in a competition.
And it's weird to think, like, the 4x4 cube, that everybody started out being like, when I first started, if you had a minute average, you were considered pretty darn fast. And now we're at 21 seconds.
Oh, man.
What?
Oh,
like,
man.
That's absurd.
Hey, I remember my first competition, when someone said that the cutoff was, like, 130, everyone started to panic.
Oh,
because, like, no one could do 130 at the time. It was ridiculous. And that was back in 08. And now it's just like, 130
now 130 is like the slow cutoff.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. It really is. I mean...
Yeah. And then for average, we had Sebastian Weyer with 28.15, then became 27.17, beating it by almost a second. And then Sebastian again beating it with 26.03, which is more than a second from previously. So it's gotten unbelievably fast. Like, you think... Give somebody a 4x4, they'll look at it for 15 seconds, and then they'll have it solved there in under half a minute. That, good lord.
It still blows my mind, you know?
Yeah, I don't even get it.
No matter how many times I've seen, like, 30 or 35 second 4x4 solved, it still kind of just blows my mind away. It's really great. Don't get me wrong.
completely unreal.
We can like credit all of these times to pretty much like Yao, like how Yao has basically been improving 4x4 methods. I don't know. It's just like all of the top 4x4 solvers pretty much use Yao now.
Yeah.
So, rather than Redux being the standard back in the day.
Shout out to Rob Yao.
Thanks, Rob. Love you. All right, that brings us to 5x5, where for single we still have, we have 48.82
for sub 50.
Good lord.
First
sub 50.
Yeah, Felix kind of just dominated all of 5x5 since the last episode.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the world records that we have for 5x5 has been with Felix, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, the single is a 48.82. I don't even know where to start with this guy. For average, he had he broke it with a 55.33, and then again with a 55.10, and then once more with a 54.20, which is really impressive, you know, because for someone who barely sub ones 4x4 consistently, kind of just it kind of just it scares me a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating, just a little bit. Yeah. And I'm sitting over here. I've always been awful at big cubes. It's like, second you give me a 4x4, it's done in like a minute 30. I'm just like, yeah, that was decent. And you're like, no, what are you doing?
That's what happens whenever I see you do big cubes. I just like start crying inside.
Do you really?
Soon it'll be crying outwardly.
Yeah, so 2x2, we've seen lots of strange stuff happen this year. The 2x2 world record has stayed the same for like almost 3 years or something like that. We had 0.69 with Christian Castor. We saw the weird stuff happening in the averages with 1.69 by Rami Spahai. Again, 1.69 with Rami Spahai. And then again with 1.69 with Lucas Etter. So there was a 3-way tie, and it was only 2 people that actually held the record. And then Lucas decided he wanted to hold the record for himself, so he got a 1.60 average.
Good lord.
You greedy.
2x2 it's growing really fastly. Chris has been coming up with new methods, like leg 1 or whatever, I forget. But like, it's really interesting to see how some of the solutions that he's posted before, and they're just absurd.
Yeah, to think, like, you start the timer. It's like magic. It's like Master Magic. Isn't it faster than Master Magic was?
I think world record for Master Magic was 1.68 for single.
For single, though. That's ridiculous.
Now 2x2 average is like...
it's faster than Magic, yeah.
Good lord. That's unbelievable.
I bet you none of the new people will understand what Magic is.
Yeah.
Considering that it's been like gone forever. Yeah.
It's been 2 years since Magic's been in. That's
still a long time. In 2 years, like in 1 year we have 80 world records. So in 2 years, it's a good thing you weren't counting for 2 years worth.
Yeah, that would have been horrible.
Oh yeah.
Awful. So many records. All right. Then we have 3 blind single. So we started out from the last episode with a 23.68, which then got beaten by Maskov with a 23.19. 23.19? No, nobody? Okay. And then 21.17, beating it by another 2 seconds. 21 seconds for blind. It's like, it's amazing to see the parallels between how fast blind and 4x4 are getting. How similar the times are.
And we're seeing sub 20 times at home for 3 blind, and I know that I think Sebastian has had 1 sub 20 or something like that at home for 4x4, so they're really following each other, which is pretty cool.
That's unreal. Because in order to do it blind, you have to be like pretty darn fast at it sighted, or at least your execution time has to be about 10 or 12.
Yeah, it's probably 10 to... Or I'd say 12 is probably like a really good execution time for like a really top blindfold solver.
It's just unreal. It's like you look at it, you're like, alright, you put on the blindfold, and then it's done. Mm-hmm. Like, no. Oh, God.
Crazy stuff.
And now, not only do we have blind singles, but we have blind means. New to 2014 was this whole idea of, hey, let's rank 3x3 blindfolded means. Well, what happens in competition is that it's still ranked by single time, but if you happen to get all 3 solves for your attempts, then you can get a mean. And that some of the means that have become world records are from Kaijun Lin with a 28.43 and then a 27.74. Then Kabyanil Talukdar, wow, I haven't seen that name before, actually, not gonna lie, 27.63, and then Maskov with a 27.51. Wow. Wow. It's like, I don't know. I get the whole single thing, but doing 3 of those in a row and then making sure you don't DNF and doing it in under 30 seconds, that's just...
It's like how Magic was. Like, if you mess up, it's just like so much pressure on it. So like during the 3 blind means you have constant pressure on of like if you DNF, your entire mean is gone.
Okay, I mean, I thought you were comparing blind and Magic there for a second. I was like, those are 2 completely different skill sets.
They're completely different, but like the pressure that you experience during your official solves they're exactly the same.
That's just crazy. Because now Maskov has obviously taken both single and average for 3 blind, but I think it's cool to see that blind itself, like, there's a lot of people who are getting really, really fast at blind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now we have one hand. Oh boy. Faz had a 905 single for one hand, which is crazy in itself. Think, people are solving. This has always been the problem, or not the problem, but this has always been a personal issue. It's like, why are people solving cubes with one hand faster than I am with 2 hands?
That's because you use horrible algorithms. That's the only reason. But yeah, I'm right though.
Yeah, you're completely right. I'm just I can't really say anything. Man,
if you have a chance, you should watch some of his averages.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so Faz started out with a 905, then it became 903, and then Antoine Cantin from Canada decides to be a complete boss and goes sub 9 with an 8.75 single.
What? I was there for that. That was awesome.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Dang.
That was awesome. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to 2 competitions this year. I might as well go to a Canadian one. And then just so happened that Antoine got the single.
Yeah, the last layer on that solve was actually pretty lucky. I was surprised that the last layer on that was so nice, and it's definitely shows in the time.
Yeah.
Well, what was the last layer? You know?
It was 6 moves.
Yeah.
Oh, it was okay. F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime.
God.
I'm pretty sure.
That's... Man, that...
Just,
Because you have the same chance for that as you do for an LL skip. It's like...
It's still pretty crazy.
Right? No, yeah, that's right. And then we have one-hand average, which is absolutely insane. As well, the world records, they're bound to be insane, but 12.56 that Antoine had. Then Michał Pleskowicz beats it with 12.48. Then 11.85 with Przemysław Kaleta, and then 11.75 with Felix. So, yeah, it's cool that we have all the records that were beaten by different people. And I don't know, one hand's always been kind of the thing where you're absurdly fast, but there's nobody. I don't think there's anybody been really, really clearly on top.
It's always just switching back and forth between a couple people, and it's just really strange.
Yeah. All right. So there's the one-hand records. Now let's move on to fewest moves. Tomoaki Okayama still holds the 20-move solution for fewest moves. But that's not to say that fewest moves hasn't progressed. Actually, this year, just like Blindfolded, we have FMC means. So you can go to a competition and for 3 hours sit to FMC and get a
Who wants to do that, though? Well, I mean, I've already done it, but...
If I had more competitions with fewest moves, I think I'd be really happy. Because I personally really, really enjoy the event. It is very engaging, actually, if you know what you're doing, unlike Mitch probably does.
It really tests your cubing knowledge, everything that you know about the cube, and rather than other events where it's just oh, okay,
I can turn fast and I can do it.
Yeah, it's not like 2x2.
Yeah, it's like if I can't solve it in 6.25 seconds, I'm not going to do it. It's like you can't do that. You got to sit there and then think really theoretically about how it works at a very like foundational level. Stuff that can never be expressed by doing a speed solve, like people using this, for example. It's like unbelievable what people can do.
Yeah.
And so for FMC mean, we have 25 moves for a mean that's held by both Sebastian Aru and Vincent Xu, which Vincent got that at Nationals, and everybody was really, really impressed.
You want to talk about how the issue with the third solve?
Yeah, the third solve, Vincent thought that he needed sub 30 to tie the world record, but he just needed 30, and he got 30 and he looked really sad after the third one, and he was like, I could have gotten it.
I thought the issue was that he DNF'd. He thought he DNF'd.
Yeah, he thought he DNF'd it, but he didn't, and he was kind of like, I'm sorry that I showed my emotions in such a way, but for him to get the world record out of something so stressful is just it's beyond me, because he comes from a time where FMC was a lot different. The whole culture was completely different. Like when you had to have the best of 3 or whatever, best of 2, whatever, all you needed was a single. You would try everything that you could to get a good single. If you DNF'd, no big deal. You still have another attempt, and hopefully you got a pretty good attempt out of that. But now with the mean, like you have no room for error. Like if you forget to put a prime on the last move, you're done for.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane, and it's really stressful, and I like it. I like it for the simulation it provides, but once the call is made, 5 minutes remaining, I'm like, crap, I don't know what I'm doing. I should probably start writing down some moves.
Yeah.
All right.
Jules, do you want to do feet single? Because I'm not going to pronounce those names.
Oh, neither am I.
Oh, God.
Brandon!
Okay. Feet single. Let's do this. I've gotten decent at pronouncing names. So 27.66 was held by Yuhei Takagi, and then 27.17 by Gabriel Pereira Campagna, and then Gabriel whatever beat it again with 25.14, beating it by over 2 seconds. Feet 25 seconds. It's unbelievable.
And people hate it more now.
Yeah, people, like, there's been a new resurgence of people really not liking feet and wanting to see it removed. We can talk more about that probably after our break.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just keep moving on to feet mean, 30.57 by Gabriel Pereira Campagna. That's just amazing. Then we have Megaminx, which is...
Megaminx.
Yeah.
Louis came out of the blue here and got a 38.57 world record single, which it was kind of unexpected because we just didn't really expect it, I guess.
Like, who expects Megaminx? Like, all of the Megaminx people kind of just disappeared.
Well, I mean, Louis had NAR and everything, but
but
when he got the world record single,
it was kind of nowhere. It came out of nowhere.
But the 37.83 by Yu Da-hyun, that was really expected because she's been practicing for so long and she's so fast.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching her videos on YouTube years and years ago, doing Megaminx in insanely fast times. I'm thinking she's going to hold a world record one day, and well,
it only took years.
It only took years, and she's still younger, much younger than the majority of the community. And to have a world record and to be the first female world record holder, it's insane to see how much Megaminx has progressed just by having her around. And then in average, we have 45.77 by Louis, 44.63 by Yu Da-hyun again, and then 42.89 by Yu Da-hyun, which is currently standing. Unbelievable. It's like very soon Megaminx is going to be Megaminx average is going to be sub 40, and that blows my mind to see. That's outrageous. Which brings us over to Pyraminx. So Pyraminx,
it's 1.36 with Oscar Roth Anderson.
Yeah. And then average,
it's just an easy scramble, I guess.
Yeah. They're all, I think Pyraminx 2x2 Skewb, all those just they're kind of broken. They're completely broken. And then average, we have 296 with Drew Brads and the 256 with Drew. which is currently standing, and pretty darn cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Square One, boy.
Square One got really fast all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It went from like
Was it like 13s? Or like average wise?
Yeah, 13s for average, and then it just jumped down to 10.
Yeah, to 10.21 with.
What was single though?
Single.
Single, we had there was
7?
just somebody, I think it was in Europe, I'm not sure, but they just got a lucky scramble and they got a 7 on it.
Okay.
But before that, I think it was like 9 or something like that. But now it's 6.96 by Bing Langley.
Yeah.
That's still crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and going along with the getting really fast thing, we have Clock single 5.27 by Sam Wang. I'm not going to try pronouncing the name in the middle there, but Sam Wang. And then for average, we had Evan Liu with 6.68 and 6.61, and then Yunho Nam with 6.25. 6.25. And then with 6 flat, which...
Yeah, Yunho Nam, he really came out of nowhere.
It was really cool. I thought I saw a picture of him on Facebook with Yu Nakajima, and just chilling, basically. Like I thought it was really cool.
Skewb.
Skewb for 2014.
Yes.
It was a thing. Yeah.
Day one records
Andrew's
all
always
over
like,
the place.
You know how Andrew's always like, screw Skewbs? Well, now Skewb is screwing, well, me, personally. And I don't know. It's kind of broken. So Skewb single started off, Telus Open. It was a competition that was held on New Year's Day, 2014, in India. Right as soon as Skewb was made official, was officially recognized as an event, and Santosh Tantravahi is, I think that's how you say it, got 9.21 seconds single, which was not very impressive, and I was kind of like, meh, whatever. Then, very soon after, at I think it was a Houston competition, Walker Welch got a 4.63. Very soon after, Jay McNeil got 4. Wait, isn't Jay McNeil Me, Myself, and Pi?
No, you're mixing them up again.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Jay McNeil is Me, Myself, and Pi.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Jay got 4.27 single, followed by Mara Justina Ampong got 3.21, and then this guy, me, got 2.19 in February, and essentially kind of broke Skewb for a long time, because that stood until just about a month ago. Along the way, however, it did get tied by Jonathan Kwosko from Poland, who is completely new to, or has become completely relevant to the activity in the past year. Very up and coming, and he tied the 2.19, which, when I heard news of that, I was like, no, why didn't you just beat it? I don't deserve this anymore. But then he beat it with a 1.81, and that's currently standing, and I'm really proud of him because he deserves it far more than I do, good lord. Then moving to average. Mitch, you want to take this one?
Oh, God. For average, we have 13.70 with Abhishek Sathyanarnan. I don't know his last name, but then Walker got a 8.16, John Brachon with a 7.46, Marco Rhoda with a 7.34, Brandon Harnish with a 6.21, Hideki Nina, the guy who created Rubik's Cube, got a 6.17. This is where the era of Jonathan Klosko took over with a 5.61 average, then he got a 4.58 average, then Antoine tried to sneak one in with a 4.54 average. Jonathan was like, hell no, and got a 3.15 average. And then Jaden McNeil.
Myself, and Pi McNeil.
Yeah, Me, Myself, and Pi got a 3.1 average. His scrambles were very easy, which helped him quite a lot on that one.
So Skewb's a thing, and is getting absurdly fast. And
really fast.
It's catching
real
up
fast,
to
too fast. Yeah.
It's basically becoming Pyraminx now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, alright, 6x6, yeah. Well, Kevin Hayes has had the 140.86 single.
Right? And a 1.51, 1 minute 51.
1.5, wow! An average faster than a single. Awesome. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really hasn't improved all too much, but the hardware has changed with the Aoshi.
Yeah. So then 7x7 single, this was really cool. So Lin Chen, who we had known as that guy from China who posted all these Youku things of him doing 7x7 absurdly fast, just had a 239.41. But out of nowhere, well, seemingly nowhere, Vladislav Shevelsky goes in and gets a 238.93. That's insane.
The first world record for Russia.
That was amazing. Did you see the reaction on that?
Oh yeah, it was massive.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I actually didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No,
oh well,
we'll watch it later.
In the show notes for all of you listening, you can go online to the CubeCast website and download the show notes. The website will be up probably shortly after this episode is released, but you can go there and look at what we're going through right now, what we're reading as we're going through and commentating on all the stuff that's happening.
So for 7x7 mean, Felix got a 248.16. And then this, I didn't really know about this guy until he got the world record.
Yeah,
but,
same.
248.03 by Mattia Furlan. I just didn't know about him, and he's fast.
Yeah.
It seems to be the theme this year. I just didn't know about him, and he's just really fast.
That's kind of the recurring theme with world record holders.
Just a lot of people who just been showing up and then getting these world records. And they came out of nowhere. You know? It was crazy. So we'll move on. All right, so 4-blind, right? So Oliver Frost has kind of been dominating 4-blind since the last episode. You know? He has a 230.47, and then moved on to a 223.27, and then a 218. 218.65. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
If this was a 4x4, like a regular sighted 4x4 speed solve, like in 08, that would be impressive, I would say. Like a 2-minute solve. But this is blind. That's crazy. That is crazy.
5x5 is a little bit more crazy. You should take a look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a huge jump in 5x5.
Yeah.
So we had Ollie Frost again with 5:56.56. Then out of nowhere, a 3:39.10 by
5:39.10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That would be so impressive. If it was a 3. Oh my gosh.
5:39.10 by. Want to try this, Mitch?
Gregor Zhuoha.
Good enough. Sorry, Grzegorz. But yeah, and then multi-blind. God, Maskov. Good lord, that guy. 41 out of 41 in 54.14 is still standing, and the only person who's going to beat it is Maskov.
Yeah,
everyone knows it.
Did you see his attempt on 150 cubes?
Oh my god, 125 out of 150. That was the most disappointing thing I've seen this whole year.
People are saying, "Oh, that's really disappointing," but I was like, "That's actually really amazing," because on it, it doesn't fit his. No, it doesn't. It doesn't fit his memorization technique very well. So still getting that many cubes, I think, is just completely amazing. And he's trying to play it down and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, and all these records, all the stuff, the way that we got them and all that stuff would not have been as easily possible without TDM on speed solving. So
just pointing the way for me to figure out where all of these records were.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving us that little snippet there.
So that's all the world records of the past year or so, and now that was exhausting. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be back in a second.
If you're interested in sponsoring the CubeCast podcast, please contact us through our Facebook or Speed Solving PM. Please message Brandon on Speed Solving for that information.
Alrighty, welcome back to the CubeCast. Oh, that was tiring. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. So, of course, any episode of CubeCast would not be complete without some sort of news going on. And luckily for you, we've had a ton of news because we've had a whole year to accumulate it. But here are some highlights. So, some up-and-coming cubers. Well, who have we got here?
We got Rami Spahai. Spahai or Spahi. I don't even know how to say his name. But basically, Rami turns fast on every event, and that's how he does it. He's he's held world records for 2x2. He's held the feet NR and NAR, I think, and he's held Skewb NAR before as well. So basically, Rami just turns fast and gets stuff done. Lucas Eder also turns fast, and he holds the 2x2 world record right now. He also is extremely fast on 3x3. Does he hold the 3x3 NAR average? I can't remember.
I think he holds NR. Does Bill Wang have NAR?
Oh yeah, Bill Wang does have the NAR, I think.
Okay.
Then Keenan Lejeune. Keenan just came out recently. He came into the community pretty recently, and he's really fast. He's posting times that are really low 8 seconds, which is really impressive. He also has numerous 4-second solves on his YouTube channel. It'll just be a matter of time before he gets a really good official average and maybe a good official single. Speaking of good official singles, we have Colin Burns, who currently holds the North American record for 3x3 single.
590.
Yeah, Colin's fast. He also beat Felix at Nationals.
Yeah.
No hard feelings, though. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's only the second person to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think both times that Felix hasn't gotten first in 3x3, or when Rowe is also podiumed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rowe is the kryptonite.
Colin's really fast. I'm not sure if he has a sub 8 official average yet, but
he's getting
I don't know.
He's getting there.
He's definitely getting there. Jaden McNeil also. Me, Myself, and Pi. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. He's kind of in disguise. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's God. Jade's just getting absurdly fast. Getting the Skewb world record, and then just generally being great at 3x3. He's been getting like 8 seconds on 3x3 or something.
Yeah, he's getting
like 8.
He's another all-arounder person, but he doesn't do blinds. He's basically like me, except for faster.
Yeah, but speaking of like cubers coming into the scene, we also have cubers that are kind of coming out of the scene. Earlier this year, Sebastian Aru announced that he was retiring from the WCA board. That was back in February. And last month,
back in February of 2014.
2014, yeah. And this past December 2014, Tim Reynolds also announced that he would be retiring from the WCA board. And it seems like they're both continually acting as WCA delegates, Sebastian in Germany and Tim in the USA. It was obviously a lot of work for them to put in for as long as they did. And if they're listening right now, I want them to know that the entire cubing community really appreciates all the work that you guys have done and continue to do. And best wishes to both of you in the rest of your lives and your cubing endeavors and all that.
I'm getting teary-eyed over here for that. that thank you. Yeah. So we've had a lot of like different puzzles. The most prominent was this anything goes policy towards like puzzle regulations.
That's something that Kit Clement has been trying to push pretty hard, I guess.
Yeah, like a lot of people are kind of pissed that the stickerless cubes haven't really been a thing, and
they were a thing, and then they weren't a thing, and now they're trying to push it again.
And Kit's like, yeah, they can be a thing, but it's January 2nd so far. No 2015 regulations have been put out, and the regulations aren't going to be pushed out quite yet because, quite frankly, they're not ready. He and many others feel like the 2014 regulations, which were a very big step in cubing, we should also talk about that. He and I feel this as well, and I got the kind of feeling from the community that those were kind of pushed out a little bit before they should have.
They were premature, basically.
Yeah, they were, just kind of hasty to get those out and have them working, because we had some issues with like Megaminx tiles and all of that jazz in 2014. But
oh my gosh, that was crazy. They actually had a poll up right after the release, and then everyone went kind of all over the place with the discussions on what is allowed and what's not. It was crazy. It was just, for some reason, the community backlash on those decisions were a bit much, in my opinion. But whatever.
Yeah. Now it's cool that we're going towards anything goes. I like the idea that you can show up to a competition and you have a cube, and as long as, by competing with a cube, just in general, no new moves are possible, all that stuff, as long as it functions like a Rubik's Cube, I feel like you should be able to use it. Same thing. I think any advantages you get would be negligible. Yeah.
For certain things, it's pretty obvious. Like, you shouldn't be able to have your cube, like, have like needle sticking out of the side of it, so you can tell that that's like an orange piece or something like that.
Needles sticking out.
Needles.
I don't
Lord.
But like, you shouldn't be able to have obvious things. But like stickerless cubes, I mean, is it really gonna make that much of a difference? Probably not.
Hey man, I can see the half pieces. I can totally look ahead faster.
Said no one ever.
What are they thinking about pillow cubes? Have you heard anything about that? Like, I know it's legal for 7x7s now, but like,
yeah, it's legal for 7x7 because for the longest time, the only ones that were available were pillowed. But now
you can only make a 7x7 with modifying the puzzle's like outer layer in some way, which the V-Cube decided to do it with making the pillowed effect, and Shengshao decided to do it with making the outer layer just slightly larger than the inner layers.
Yeah. I don't know. Because if you can have a cubic 7x7, that's cool. If you have a V-Cube, I don't know who still uses a V-Cube, but if you wanted a V-Cube...
Well, Moyu came out with the pillow.
They did?
Yeah. Their 7x7's actually pillowed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is news to me. So
that's great.
I suppose that... I didn't know Moyu even had a 7x7. Look how in touch with the community I am, crying. But yeah, 7x7. So are people using the Moyu?
Generally, not a lot of people do 7x7, so it's not really getting a lot of attention.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, because the changes in hardware, like, the whole puzzle regulations thing is just, like, all over the place. Because, people want to keep their hardware, but then the rules are just like, well, maybe not. That's the big deal with the 2014 regs.
Yeah, it's like people were arguing about the Feng Shi Shuang Ren having like pieces with multiple different colors of plastic.
Oh yeah, the ugly illusion Feng Shi thing that just looked like turd, basically.
Okay, I gotta look this up. There was a Feng Shi illusion? Like, what's it called?
Yeah, it has like the corner caps and the edge caps and like the center caps. They're it's
that
a different
one.
color.
Where
it's literally like it's so ugly. I don't get why anybody would want to use that. It's just...
Okay, I'm looking at it right now, and it hurts my head for some reason. It just hurts my head. Like the black caps on white looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. But
but then if you try turning it,
I feel like my head would just hurt.
Yeah, I'm not about that life. Not at all.
I would like solid color, like cubes with stickers.
That's what I prefer. Or stickerless cubes. Like I see merit to having a stickerless cube because it's cool. It's very low maintenance, which is cool. But I don't know. I like my cubes to be solid color plastic.
Yeah, I think if stickerless would be allowed in the 2015 regs, I'm gonna switch to all stickerless.
What's the advantage that you think?
I don't have to buy stickers because I'm poor.
See, for me, like, I never actually really changed stickers.
So you just get a new cube, like, straight up?
Yeah, like, generally I have, out of all of my mains, literally only 2 of them have been restickered before, and that's just because of the stickers I got a set of stickers for free with that cube. So I just restickered it, and I'm like, okay, these are fine.
Yeah,
I don't really see a need of actually, like, buying replacement stickers for it.
I mean, for me,
unless they get bad.
I got used to black stickers on white cubes, is the thing. So as soon as I get a brand new cube, I just change the stickers. So it has, like, black stickers on it.
Yeah. So, going along with the hardware stuff, the Moyu company basically took over. You know how Shengshao was doing their thing where, okay, we're gonna make puzzles for every event. Now Moyu's like, hey,
we can do that too.
Yeah,
we can really capitalize on this.
And their designs have been so much better. It's been crazy how more advanced cubing hardware has become as well.
Yeah, from the Huanying to start out, and they had the...
I think they started out with the Weilong.
They did start out with the Weilong, I think, and then went to the Huanying, and then Weilong again.
Weilong version 2, and then like
the Liying, and so forth and so forth.
The Liying, then the Weilong version 3, which is also called the Aolong, and then they made an Aolong version 2. Yeah. So, and then also on top of that, Moyu is just the kind of like elite branch of YJ puzzles. So, YJ also made some lower tier, like the Qilong and the Yulong and the Sulong, which are all like decent 3x3s, but they aren't quite as good as the other Moyu puzzles.
And then, but there is the YJ Guanlong, which came out.
That is a cheap cube. Like,
yeah,
it's really cheap.
It's the best bang for buck you can pretty much get.
Yeah, I'm using one as my main right now. Not gonna lie.
That's fine. That's fine.
I have a white Guanlong as my main, and I'm doing just fine, averaging 12 seconds. I don't even mind.
How much did they say they were advertising it for?
Like a
normally, I think the original advertisement was something like, "Oh, we want to have cubes that people can get that are really good, that are produced at a pretty high quality, that can turn really well, have all the same functionalities that speedcubers would expect, but for like $3."
I think it was like originally like $2 or like $1 or something. When the Moyu company posted it on their Facebook page, it was like something like $1 or $2. But like obviously some cube companies need to stay in business, so they have to mark up their prices.
Yeah, but you can still go on zcube.cn and buy. If you buy them in bulk, you can still get them for 80
cents each,
70 cents.
It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
The shipping price though is not as amazing, but those prices are still amazing.
Yeah, it's like if you needed to get a cheap cube for somebody, if you want to get somebody else into cubing and don't want to give them a Rubik's brand because ain't nobody got time for that, then go ahead, purchase a Guanlong. Even on the cubicle.us, they're selling them for $4. $4.
That's cheaper than a Rubik's brand. Let's put it that way. And
you can get like almost 3 Guanlongs for 1 Rubik's brand.
And they perform a lot better, in my opinion.
That's what I meant to say.
But if you want to go a little bit more over the top, you can basically spend a lot of money on Moyu cubes. Like their 7x7 right now is close to $50, and their 6x6 is like $40. They came out with the 4x4 quite a while ago, which is the Weisu, and it's an okay 4x4, but the Aosu that they made is a lot better. It was a pretty big jump. And then they did come out with a mini Aosu now. In the 5x5s, they made the Aochuang, and then they just came out with the Huachuang or something like that.
Today.
Yeah, and Felix just came out with a review of it, and he said it's just marginally better, basically. And so, I mean, if you're really into like spending lots of money with getting little or no return, like just spend all of your money on Moyu cubes, basically.
And if you want to go even more over the top, you can get the over the top 17x17x17.
Oh, but they raised the price on Shapeways for everything, so
yeah.
Did they really?
It's like
really
the prices are really they're really over the top now. It used to cost like $2,000 or something like that, but now it's like $10,000.
Oh God, that's no.
Oh man,
no.
Have you seen that that video that's been going around about the I think it was like a 13x13?
Yeah, somebody. Oh, I think it was a 13x13? I think so. Or was it a 17? I forget. But yeah, it was probably.
It's a 17x17. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video going around right now of somebody solving a 17x17
in 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours.
That's Red KB's one, right?
Is it?
For sure, yeah.
Good lord.
Red KB did one, and then also I'm not sure if somebody else did one, but yeah, Red KB did a 17x17 solve video, and I think he did a 13x13 solve video. I'm not sure.
Good lord.
But I know Crazy Bad Cuber has done a 13x13 solve video, and that was like an hour and a half.
I don't know. It's like all the non-cubers think, oh, just because you add more layers, it makes it harder to do.
It's just the same difficulty as a 7x7.
Yeah, or even like a 5x5.
Yeah, I would probably push down difficulty to 5x5 for most big cubes.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, like when I first started cubing, or when I first got a big cube, I could solve the 5x5, and then when I got up to the 7x7 and the 6x6, I didn't know the center commutator to switch them. So, like, that was kind of an issue. So that's why I always say, oh, it's the same as, like, a 6x6 or a 7x7.
Yeah, but there's merit to that.
I remember at Nationals, or maybe it was Nationals, Justin Harder was doing, center commutators with James Donahue's Pyraminx.
Oh, man.
And people would just, like, take a look at it, and they'd see, like, 2 pieces swapped, and they'd be like, no, I'm not going to try that.
And then Justin was like, ha, you can do this in, like, 10 moves.
Yeah. I just like looked at it and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because that would just end horribly.
They're not that bad. They're not.
I should probably get out the Megaminx and try it.
Yeah, they're not. Like if you ever want to learn how to do 4-blind or 5-blind or whatever, and you want to learn how to do center comms properly, of course there are lists and lists and lists of things you can use for that. But you can also just try doing it intuitively. But yeah, so cubes and stuff, because
there's tons of them, and basically they're all too expensive.
That's the best summary of 2014 Cube hardware.
Yeah, except
the Guanlong's the only exception.
Everything else is absurdly expensive.
So did this happen at Nationals 2014? Because I think it happened right before the finals. They announced the God's number for quarter turn metric.
Oh yeah, so the quarter turn metric God's number has been found. It was found in August. I know that. I don't know if it was in time for Nationals, but yeah, it was announced as 26 quarter turn moves for the Rubik's Cube. This was found by Rocket Key and Morley Davidson.
I think Morley Davidson was at 2014 Nats, but everybody was so loud that you couldn't hear it. But he was on the microphone saying it.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. Or I might have seen it but not realized what it was.
There's a video about it, but you just can't hear anything.
Dang. But yeah, so quarter turn metric God's number has been found. It's 26. Also, Herbert Kochemba has a quarter turn metric Cube Explorer solver, which I think is really cool. It's really cool if you want to see that, because like things that you might not really think about. Well, a lot of people obviously don't think about quarter turn metric at all when they're doing stuff like, especially Fewest moves, but other stuff like just 3x3 solving in general. You're not going to think about that. But for more theoretical stuff, quarter turn metric seems like a very interesting sub category in puzzle theory. Also, in November, completely unrelated, there was this thing called Cubiversity.
Oh yes.
I really have no idea. I have no idea what this is, and I've completely been ignoring it. So,
yeah.
What is it?
Well, Cubiversity was proposed by, I can't remember his name. Gosh, what is his name?
John Schneck.
Thank you. He's where from again?
He was from Reliant K.
Just like randomly posted. Not randomly, I guess he's had this plan for a really long time. But he posted on Speed Solving that he was doing this thing where he wanted to create a musical medium to teach people how to cube.
Eventually they got in contact with Anthony Brooks and doing all the stuff with him. They had a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo campaign or something like that.
It was a Kickstarter.
It was Kickstarter? Okay.
Yeah, I remember because my bill from Kickstarter arrived from them.
Oh, yeah. So they wanted, of course, there are obvious things in their campaign that cubers would look at, like people who really know what they're doing would look at and say, no, that's probably not going to work out. Like they wanted to make it the single best source of cubing information on the internet because there wasn't one. There wasn't anything great. But obviously we have stuff like the Polish database, we have algdb.net, we have all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, Cubiversity, it was an interesting idea because their basic platform was, do you think it's hard to memorize like notation or to memorize like what the notation looks like and be able to recall that and put that to your hands? You know, it's really easy to remember a song, and then they would make a song out of an algorithm like the Soon. I remember they had a Soon song or something.
Did you actually listen to it?
I did. I watched the whole video.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I watched their whole campaign video, and I was moderately intrigued, but didn't donate a penny because I'm like, I'm broke.
Yeah, I donated the lowest possible tier just because it's cubing related. I kind of want people to understand cubes in a way that's easy to understand.
Yeah,
and not be approached crazily.
But I feel like there's a lot of common misconceptions around cubing that we can just completely get rid of. But this episode's getting quite long enough. A last little piece here. The Sunday contest has come back with Weston Mizumoto and Speed Cube Shop. However, well, not quite Speed Cube Shop yet, it seems.
There's just been some issues getting the prizes out with Sunday contest, but you know,
Sunday contest it's a really good idea. They have 4 events each week, and there's one kind of like special event each week, and the winner of that special event gets the prize, and there's also a randomly selected person for this a prize each week. It's a really good automated system that Weston created this year.
Yeah.
Last year. Also, like, just regarding this episode, we may have run a little bit long on certain things. But it's been a year, so that's basically why. I know a lot of people don't really want to hear about like new puzzles or records for like a very long time, but it's definitely not going to be like this next time.
It's just been a really, really long time, and catch up has been just a lot of work.
Yeah, and in fact, next time we're going to have Colin Burns, the current U.S. national champion and 3x3 North American record holder, as our guest. So please stick around for that. We think that we're going to get these out every 2 weeks, maybe
3 weeks or so. We'll figure out a good medium. But hopefully we can still churn out these things, despite the fact that we may or may not have a guest, and that's the purpose of the three hosts. Once again.
Yeah. So until next time, thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions and comments, please direct those to our Facebook page at facebook.com/CubeCastPodcast. We're right now in the process of getting a website set up on cubing.net, as well as getting the email set up and Twitter account, all this other social media stuff. So until that happens, the best place to contact us for anything is on Facebook, on our page. Again, facebook.com/CubeCastPodcast. If you'd like to submit any quickfire questions that we will have next time, I'm talking to you, Tyler Kerr, please send those to us in the comment section of the post for this episode. And once again, thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back here shortly.
Peace.
Bye!
Okay.